have breast cancer. Those are dreaded 4 words that we hate to hear. But when you do, no doubt, just like me, it changed the entire trajectory of your life, from diagnosis to treatment to survivorship. You know, one of the first early changes that we as breast cancer patients make is that of our deodorant. You know, not long after we hear that we have that diagnosis, we start reading a whole lot of things on the internet and hearing a whole lot of different conversations from people that care about us. And one of those topics of conversation is our deodorant. So I'm Lynette Gaines, and on August 25th, 2017, I heard those dreaded words: you have breast cancer. And just like you, I went through the same process of what you're dealing with now, trying to sort out what deodorant to use, understand why I shouldn't use certain types of deodorant. And so what this segment is for is to help share some of the research I found with you, my BC sisters, to help you maybe allay some of the anxiety from this process of making that decision. You know, I'm in several breast cancer Facebook groups, and one of the main questions that I see over and over in those groups is that about deodorant, aluminum free, and what type, where to buy, you know, and the various brands out there. And so, as you notice on my little counter here, I have 4 of the popular brands today. There's Tom's, there's Dove, there's Native, and then there's Crystal. And so what I want to do is just share some information with you regarding what the American Cancer Society has to say. And then we'll just talk a little bit more about these ones that you see here. One of the things that the American Cancer Society has said that there is really no scientific evidence that using antiperspirants, which has the aluminum in it, causes or worsens breast cancer. However, what they do know is that the aluminum salts absorb and collect in the breast tissue. And in a study, women who used antiperspirants and women who didn't, they found that the women who used antiperspirants had more of the aluminum salts collected in their breast tissue of those that had breast cancer. And so even though aluminum from antiperspirants, it may build up after years of use, it can also disrupt the endocrine system. So even though there's no scientific evidence that there's a direct link to aluminum antiperspirants causing breast cancer, given the fact that we have a diagnosis of cancer, there's trauma that's going to be happening to the breast tissue is already been invaded by cancer cells, it's just more prudent to maybe switch to an aluminum-free deodorant because of the fact that those aluminum salts collect in breast tissue. And so, like I said, this is just a sampling of some of the aluminum-free deodorants that are out there. We have our Tom's, our Dove, our Native, and Crystal. But I'm going to list a few other ones that I didn't have. And that is the Nourish Organic Deodorant. That's a brand by Arm & Hammer. We have the Alris Non-Metallic. We have Jason's Aloe Vera. Piper Y, which is W-A-I. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it correctly. And then we have Dr. Teal's Aluminum Free. Now, all of these I found, most of them you can find at your local drugstore, your CVS, your Walmart, of course, Amazon. Maybe some of the big box stores carry them as well. The reason I got the Tom's is, too, it's in a solid formulation like these two, but the packaging is for those that are really eco-conscious about what they're putting back into the earth. So there's no plastic here. It's just corrugated cardboard, and when you're done with it, it's biodegradable when you dispose of it. So I thought that was a good one to have too. When I started out pre-treatment, I started using Native, and it was working really good. But what I found is that as I was going through treatment, during the radiation portion of my treatment, I didn't need any deodorant. For some reason, it caused me not to perspire. But as time went by after radiation, I began to perspire again, and the Native was no longer holding me, controlling me as well. And so I switched to crystal, and this is the one that I'm presently using. And so, like I said, it's a variety of them out there. This just gives you a sampling and an idea of what you can purchase for yourself if you make that decision. So, well, my friends, again, you have various formulations. You got your roll-on, you have your solids, and then again, this one for the eco-friendly packaging. So I would love for you, if this information, if you found it informative, if you think it's going to help you in making that decision, to like this video, to comment below, but most importantly, to subscribe to the channel. You know, cancer, again, makes us feel like we have no control. And making certain choices of this type, even though they may not be huge, but making these type of choices helps us in a way to take back some of that control in a small way. And so next week, we're going to talk about skincare for breast cancer girls. And I found a product that I think is fabulous, that I really believe in, and I want to share with you. And so, like I said, like this video, comment on it, but most importantly, please subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any future content. Thank you. See you next week.